It's rock and roll!
Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of Look, It's Rock and Roll, and this is another quick review segment by yours truly, Mark Anthony K. Thank you to everybody who watched my Writing Easy Records segment on the Brown Acid series. I appreciate your support, and in fact, I believe that the label itself actually might have checked out the video, so that's really cool that they did that. So I hope they enjoyed it as well. But today, it's with great pleasure that I'm going to be talking about this set today. To say that I've been waiting for this with great anticipation is a major understatement. I'm a huge fan of David Bowie's, and as you know, his estate has been releasing these fantastic box sets over the last 6 years now, 5-6 years. And this one has taken a while to come out. I'm guessing it's mainly because of the delay in the vinyl pressing, because this comes out both on a vinyl edition and a CD edition. I have gotten so far all of the CD ones, and only one of the series I bought on vinyl, and that was because I was in desperate need of the vinyl from that series. I couldn't find much of the OG ones, so I bought the vinyl edition of that. But enough of the babbling. Let's show you what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about the latest version of the box set series that's come out, and that's called, the latest one is called Brilliant Adventures. It covers from 1992 to 2001. The Bowie 75 sticker is to celebrate, I believe, his 75th, would have been his 75th birthday, I believe, at this point. I'm guessing that's what it is, because obviously he hasn't been in the music business for 75 years. So like I said, this is the CD box version of it. It's really nicely done. Has a fantastic material covering on this, on the outside here. It's really nicely done. It comes out in this little slip box here, where all the albums are stored in here. Now, right away, right off the bat, the main thing that I love about these box set collections is the book that comes with them. And this one is no exception. It slides out of here, and it has the same kind of cover on it. But this book goes through every album. And what I extremely love about it is that you get all these fantastic little notes, pictures from the sessions, and this to me is the real, like, the holy grail part of the whole thing. The actual notes on the production of the albums. And you get each producer to talk about each of the records, and they go into details about how the songs are constructed, even some of the studio trickery that was used, or studio process that was used to record some of this stuff. It's just fantastic. I mean, this in itself, I think, is worth the price of getting these things, besides the fact that the CDs all sound excellent. And I've always been a big supporter of CDs. I think it's still a format that gets now kind of poo-pooed a bit, but I love it. It's convenient still, I find. It sounds good. You can have a lot of stuff on it, far more than you can put on vinyl. I'm not belittling vinyl. I love vinyl still. And if it wasn't for the fact that the box set on vinyl this time around costs about $700 after taxes, I would have bought it, but that's a little out of my price range right now. And this cost just over $200 on CD. Still a lot of money, but you'll see that it's absolutely worth it. Number one, like I said, this book is pretty thick, lots of stuff on there, lots of great pictures that you've never seen before, studio notes, handwritten lyrics, all kinds of pictures of like the singles. Like, here you go, there's even like a letter, like press letter from the record labels, and it shows you all kinds of stuff. So let me go through this really quickly with you and talk about each of the records that came out a little bit and show you them. So this record, like I said, this box set, I'm a little excited here. This box set covers 1992 to 2001. Now, in David Bowie circles, this time period is kind of looked at as the dark period of David Bowie's career, solo career. To me, I kind of look at it as the overlooked period of his career. Not a lot of albums in here that are very popular amongst the general public. Amongst us Bowie fans, we love these records, but not a popular time in the general public for the man. Now, the first album that they're putting out and that I'm going to be talking about is Black Tie White Noise. Now, they made these CDs all in these beautiful miniature vinyl versions of it. I mean, I think it looks really great. They even have the spines and everything there. Sorry, I don't know if I can get this all focused. My camera kind of sucks for this. Another thing that's great with this, they include like an actual proper sort of inner sleeve from the album. And make note of this, people who are releasing box sets, new record labels. They even give you nice proper sleeves, okay, to protect your discs. And the discs look really nice. The sort of printing that they do for each of them look very nice. And as you can see, these are gold discs. Now, in the industry circles, they claim that the gold disc ones last longer and hold better for longer periods. I mean, from what I understand, a regular CD is supposed to last like well over 50 years anyway. So, I mean, what are they gunning for 100 years? I don't even know if even a CD player will be around in 100 years' time. Anyways, enough of my babbling. This is Black Tie White Noise. This was an album that at first I wasn't too hip on, mainly because I never heard it, because this album alone is a reason to get this box set. Try finding this on vinyl. It is impossible here in Canada or anywhere in North America, I think, to find this album. It was only put out, I believe, in 2 countries. I think it was in the UK, and I believe there was a US release later on as well. On Discogs, this album goes for like, over $100, like almost $200 for vinyl for this. So that's, it's worth getting it for that. This album came out on the 5th of August, 1993 in the UK, and came out April 6th in the US, sorry, I'm just really excited about this, to be honest with you. Yeah, and there's a lot of great musicians on here. This is produced by Niles Rodgers. You have Wild T. Springer. You have Al B. Sure doing vocals on the title track here. And then you have people like, Sterling Campbell on drums. Niles Rodgers plays guitar. Bowie, John Regan on bass. Yes, I think it's that same John Regan. Barry Campbell, Richard Hilton, Dave Richards, Reeves Gabrel. Mick Ronson makes an appearance on here as well. A solo guitar on the song called I Feel Free, which is a great song. Mike Garson. So it's a really good album. It was not very popular commercially for him, but for us Bowie fans who love this stuff, this was, in our eyes, a return to form for David Bowie. I mean, the records that were before this were like, Never Let Me Down, Tonight, and Let's Dance. Well, actually, the proper order was Let's Dance 83, Tonight 85, and Never Let Me Down 87, which was Never Let Me Down was the big disappointment, where people started getting worried. But this album started making people say, okay, we haven't lost Bowie altogether. So, good album to get. Next, and here, this is another great example, and I love using this book because it helps me with my notes here. Another great example of getting this box set, whether it's on CD or on vinyl, is because of this release here. Next one up is the Buddha of Suburbia. Now, this is technically like a soundtrack album, but man, you want to talk about finding a needle in a haystack? Try finding this album. I only have a cassette version that I found just purely by luck, a UK cassette copy of this album with the original album cover on it, which is not this. But again, great album. Let me just put my bookmark in here so I don't have to keep fumbling through here. 1 second, guys. There we go. Yeah, so here's the back of it. And again, it comes with a fantastic inner sleeve recreation of the album with notes and everything on here. And the CD is right here. Sort of a simple design for this one, but looks great just the same. Now, this album was another one that I had very little knowledge of because, like I said before, just with like Black Tie White Noise, it was not readily available here to find anywhere. And again, I think this was only released in 2 territories. in the world as far as vinyl was concerned. Let me just check the book for notes on that. This album came out November 8th, 1993. And then there was an alternate cover version released October 24th, 1995. Now, if you take a look at this picture, hopefully you can see this. On the one side, you'll see the two album covers. The top one is the original one, which I had the cassette copy of, and the bottom one is the one that's out now, the recreation of. Great record. This one is another one that people hold in high esteem. There's very few people on here. There's only David Bowie, Erdal Ekeskley. I always get screwed up on that guy's name. Mike Garson, Lenny Kravitz makes an appearance on here. Rob Clydesdale and David Richardson, who did the programming and engineering of this record. Now, another great thing about this is that the reproduction were all done by people kind of involved in this record, and were all done at Air Mastering in London, England. So this album was remastered by John Webber. White Tie, Black Noise was remastered by John Webber as well, and Nile Rodgers at Air Studios. Now, there's a direct quote here, just to show you that I'm not just making things up here. But in regards to this album, all you have to know about this album is just read what that big quote there says. In many respects, this is David Bowie's most important album of the 1990s. I was just finishing listening to this in the car. Great stuff. Lots of great vocals, and it also is a return to him kind of doing instrumental tracks again, kind of like how Heroes was. Not as many instrumental tracks. I don't think I haven't heard the whole record yet, so don't quote me on that, but that kind of concept has returned. Next up is a record that I've really enjoyed over the years, and I have a vinyl copy of, and that is David Bowie One Outside. This album is a very long record. This is another reason why this box set is expensive on vinyl, is because on vinyl it's a double album. Luckily, because of the CD format, they were able to fit it on one disc, which saves us a bit of money. Here's the slipcase for it. You can just slip that in there, which I always do. And this one comes with a fantastic booklet as well. The vinyl version that I have has this booklet. It's in great detail. It is a concept record telling a story of Nathan, what's his name? I forget his name. Sorry, give me 1 second, guys. Nathan Adderley, I believe his name is. It's a story, it's a concept album. So interesting stuff done with Brian Eno, sorry. So really well done here. On vinyl, you can find it, but having bought it myself, I got the white vinyl version from the Music on Vinyl edition that came out. Right now, that copy is available on Discogs for about almost $300. So yeah, you might want to buy the reissue. There's the information on it on here. This album came out on the 25th of September 1995. It was co-produced and engineered by David Richards, and this album was the brainchild of both Brian Eno and David Bowie. You also have Reeves Gabrel on here, Erdal Ekeskley again, Mike Garson, Sterling Campbell, Carlos Alomar is back, Brian Barron, and various people on different instruments like Tim Frisch, Kevin Armstrong, and various backing singers. And this was remastered by John Webber again at Air Mastering in London with Brian Eno. So there you go. This is the one thing I like that they're doing with these things, is that, again, you have people involved with the album, involved with the remastering of it as well. So it's not just being blindly remastered. Here is notes about the actual production. And on this side, that big note on this side here, this thing here, is the original concept or idea behind the album. So fantastic stuff to read here, folks. I'm gonna sound like I'm a used car salesman here, but honestly, this is a box set that even if you're slightly interested in David Bowie, I would highly advise to buy it, because it's so well done. They sound fantastic. I can't stress that enough. And if you have the money to buy the vinyl, please do. I'm envious if you do it. Now, anyways, next up is an album that I'm still kind of on, but of course, you have to get it anyways. Even an album by Bowie is really good. and that is Earthling. This is the album where David Bowie started experimenting with drum and bass styles. This is one of the few albums in this collection here that's a sort of gatefold CD here, like that. I don't have a vinyl. I've never gotten a vinyl copy of this, so I don't know if that's how the original vinyl was. This is another one that's like well in the $200-300 mark to get on vinyl if you want an original colored vinyl version of this. So again, $700 is a lot, but I think that it'll still end up being worth it to buy in the end. This has for some reason the stuff is inside like this. I don't know why they did that. Again, this is a multiple LP version. Luckily, it fits on one CD. As far as cost goes for that, and this comes with a really nice slip cover inner sleeve, and yeah, the notes and stuff like that are written on the inside there for you. This album, like I said, I wasn't really too big on this album. But there are songs on this album that are absolutely fantastic as well. I have to stress Little Wonder. Looking for Satellites is good. I'm Afraid of Americans was a pretty big song for him. 7 Years in Tibet is really good as well. This came out on the 3rd of February 1997. It was engineered by Mark Platy, I believe it is. Produced by David Bowie. Co-produced by Mark Platy and Reeves Gabrel. Reeves Gabrel is a very important man during these albums and even their album before. And here you have notes on the album, and you even have those kind of progress sheets like I like to make for my records right there, so you can check out how they went about recording this record. It's a really good album in the sense that sonically it sounds good. I may not like some of the songs, but sonically it sounds really good. David Bowie, Reeves Gabrel, Mark Platy, Gil and Dorsey on bass, who is a very important person from here on in for David Bowie as far as bass and vocals go. Mike Garson on keyboards, and Zachary Alford on drums, drum loops, acoustic drums, and electronic percussion. This was remastered by John Weber and with Reeves Gabrel and Mark Platy. So there you go. Again, smart move, getting people who were involved in the remastering of this record. Now, next up, I believe, is the last of the studio records that are here. I believe so. Don't quote me on it. Yes. The last of the studio albums proper, and you'll see what I mean by that in a minute. And this is an album that most Bowie fans kind of like are unsure of, but I love this record. And this is Hours by David Bowie. This is another one that has a gatefold sort of production to it, or design to. People think this is a little bit more. How do I put this? Like dad rock. I think that's bullshit, to be honest. I think it's just a little bit more singer-songwriter-ish, written-wise. A very kind of simple design on the CD. Nice inner sleeve for this as well. And the material is beautiful. Nice gloss. One thing is for sure about these box sets that they do for Bowie is that they never ever skimp on this, which is probably why the cost is sometimes the way it is. But if you want quality stuff, you're going to get it right here. And why is this getting so hard to get in? Okay, there you go. And it comes again with a nice big booklet here, again with it. Lyrics, information, some nice imagery and stuff like that. So again, worth getting if just for that. And again, I have this on vinyl. Not the most expensive one, but it is getting up there in price. These albums are all over $100 in the OG form, so again, might be worth getting. Now, excuse me. One of the things about these box sets that's important to make note of is that if you can't afford to get the vinyl, for example, like me, the great thing that the Bowie estate does, and I really love them for this, is that in the new year, in January, they will start releasing these albums individually in the record stores. So if you want to get Hours, the reissue like this, on vinyl, you will have a chance to get it, and it'll probably cost you like, let's say, $50 because it's a double vinyl. Some of these albums, like Outside, is like a triple vinyl, so keep that in mind that when you go and see them in the stores, so they're not just like one record. And these are 180 gram vinyls, 3 albums in one pack, so and it's probably easier to get this collection in vinyl doing it that way than buying it in the box, so keep that in mind. But sometimes in these collections they release stuff that will be exclusive to the box set only, like this. this is David Bowie, BBC Sessions, the BBC Radio Theatre, London, live, June 27th, 2000. Now, I will refer quickly here just to the notes, just to give you just a little bit of information on this. Where are we here? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah, so there was a lot of information here about hours, so just I'm kind of flipping through here. Okay, so this album came out on, so it says a limited edition 15-track release, part of the limited edition David Bowie. Oh, sorry. The album was first released in 15-track form as part of the limited edition Bowie at the Beeb 3 CD set that came out on September 26th, 2021. Oh, okay. So that was recently when that came out. I didn't even know about that. What the heck? Anyway, so this is a live performance. A lot of classic songs. Wild as the Wind, Ashes to Ashes, Always Crashing the Same Car, Starman, Heroes, Let's Dance, Hello Space Boy, Fame, The Man Who Sold the World. A lot of things. The thing that's interesting about this release is that this is the time period where Bowie is kind of like, not frowning on his past stuff, but kind of leaving it behind a bit and just concentrating on more current stuff. So that's why the set list is kind of the way it is. This is a multiple CD version. So on vinyl, this is probably 4 albums, I believe. Double CD, double sleeves with notes and everything here. Excuse me, guys. Got a little bit of a phlegm issue going on here. Sorry, I know you really wanted to know that. But yeah, so, and this is not a sort of like a gatefold. This is one of those like really big kind of, openings in a single form. I haven't heard this yet, but I'm going to assume that it's going to be fantastic. And now another thing that's not exclusive to this, but in fact it is, people were anticipating this so much in the David Bowie world that they actually made a separate box set for this release. And that is a record that's been bootlegged to death in David Bowie circles, and that's Toy. That's a very odd album cover, I know. I remember when Michael, our 45 RPM, did the vinyl kind of discussion on this, he mentioned that it kind of scared him, this cover. So this is him doing a retake on 60 songs that he did back in the day with his then current band that he was touring with for Earthling. So it has a very much more newer electronic kind of vibe to it. Not maybe not electronic, but a more current sounding vibe to it. Here's the CD. There is like I said, there is a box set coming out that has all kinds of different, knickknacks and paraphernalia from back in this time. Again, the reason why the people were hyping this so much is because this was an album that he was supposed to release back in the time of just after Earthling, and for whatever reason, I can't remember at this time why. I think it was maybe because he had maybe label issues. I don't remember, but there was a reason why they shelved it, and now the estate finally decided to do a proper remix on it and send it out into the world for us David Bowie fans to enjoy. Let me see if I can quickly find the information on this. Where are you? There's Toy. There it is. Okay, sorry guys. So Toy, first released as part of the ISO 3 CD set box that's coming out on January 7th, 2022. So that's coming out the 7th of January next year, the box set. And like I said, this was old material that they redid, produced by David Bowie and Mark Platy, mixed by Mark Platy, and mixed at the Looking Glass studio in New York City. That was David Bowie's kind of mysterious recording place where he was doing stuff where nobody knew that he was doing stuff in that studio there. People on here are Sterling Campbell, Gail Ann Dorsey, Mike Garson, Elisa Germano, M. Grainer, Jerry Leonard, great guitar player, Holly Palmer, Earl Slick, Tony Visconti, And this is mastered by John Weber and Mark Plati at Air Mastering Studios. This is a fantastic sort of find and addition to have. Again, if you're looking for a more in-depth look on this album, there's the box set that's going to be coming out. Now, the last thing in this collection, and this is again exclusive, these are always exclusive, and every one of these boxes have one of these, and it's called Recall. Okay, this, as you can see there, it says Recall 5, because on every box set they have one of these Recall ones. What is it? It is singles, unreleased tracks, alternate mixes from this time period, and this one is filled to the brim. I believe this is 3 CDs in here. Yeah, there are 3 discs for this. So I believe on the vinyl end of things, you're looking at, like, again, multiple vinyls, like four LPs for this, and they all come with these sort of simplistic. Sorry, I got cut off there for some reason. Anyways, plenty of stuff to listen to on this. So that is about it as far as this box set goes. Again, I can't stress enough how important it is, I think, if you're a Bowie fan, to get this. Again, this booklet is worth having. Again, it's in record stores now, and you can order it online now as well. Sorry, that's just the inner box. There's the cover for it. If you have a chance to go and buy this, it might be a great Christmas present for somebody on your list who loves David Bowie music, like I do, and it's just a great listen. And if you're not familiar with his music, maybe it's a good chance for you to get involved in listening to it, and you might become a big fan of this era. I think it's very overlooked, extremely overlooked era of his music. So that's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this little look into the box set, and I will talk to you guys all again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching or listening to this episode. Be sure to subscribe to us, like us, or even leave us a review. You can find us and join the conversation on Facebook.